Hi, this is part 3 of Manuscript X. Elegy of the Living. Will I miss what sons of cipher, what fluorescent desk wives of split-tongued phone hacks, a queue of inbound, despot rings the fallen, car shook and house burn? Did you expect staring into that? Dart aspirants seeking loving home. The zither, the slinky, belligerent disciples of the excluded center, peach pit nestled within thigh-high stockings, ride on leg shake to the orbit of mouth. Velvet and that city boy. Riptide, ripcord, rip curl, ripped. Royal, the talon implosion of sleep raven, atlas of your cry, index finger circles Florida, Key West, Key Largo, Key. Stitches like miles of torpedoes. The pit, the mouth, the cipher, the wake shake of wet excluded. What heap, what masks of adolescent wanting. Ride the rhinoceros. The lock rise, and we with it. Slate into slate. We ratify into absence of law. It's restraint that is unnatural. See the doorway to 1,000. Vent love window this car floats on our tongues. Vent tongue, freedom from, woman crouched, fatal smear and room for rent, heat lamps and cabaret, with asses for bulls, lassos and batted eyelashes. For bold, for upright, for the insolvent Olay, choice is cowboy, faux naivety and crowbar wisdom, duster, fishtailing, Brando, all the outsourced swordfish breaching ventricle, prison of the eyes have it, face the central control hub, venison, stag, pageant, bride, what woman not to cello, not even the she that touches her, Barbarella, Ella, aortal vent, choice, orgasmatron, bring her in ancient Rome. Then there was a pawn. Clown this rodeo. You want freedom of choice is what you've got. We, the slender watching from the wild, hostile desk head, know these sophisticated fisticuffs. No, these handcuffs grew quite naturally out of your essay. Lay your head on my desk. Shareholder, a representative of this democracy in action, the town crier read from their toilet paper manifesto, called for the lead role to be filled by someone willing to sing the liberty of the self made by the bloodless suppression of the other. Nothing to fear but watch the go-board where Iago embraced Othello, embraced Iago, Desnex, an army asleep on its feet, while its belly flies grumble to hammer this big rock into finer white powder. Do what thou wilt, damn you. Cover me when I sleep. Cover me, darling, please. Neck, tied. Party favor. Place your own front teeth against the curb. Smile. Drool for the sadists. Employ a spare foot to the back of one's own head. Stream blood and saliva. Cry how unfair life is without one's front teeth. You worried over her for 14 years until they took her from you, left her a stain on a brick wall. Straight-jacketed upside down here against it, I begin to hear the blood feuds between orange peel and the whitewash. We all in Shavasana here against this. The Marquis lost all interest in kidnapping children of the less than. Fast food, landfill. This diplomacy of spit and broke blood knuckles. Moon burned. With all due respect, when I am king, you will be first against the wall. Because knowing more cheapens their history. First against the wall. Salt, pot, boiler, burned by chaste and dreary. Citrus groves among the rows be the choke of the smudge pot, or from the corn silk cry unshucked. We scald. Crows don't loiter where unseeing is believing. I argue every one of us, we are sisters and brothers come up from Africa. We are the othered other, and possibly we're all from the same hole. There is no damnation, only this missorted hunger that stalks the rose, because knowing more deepens the mystery, to dive into the void, to let yourself drown in honey without struggle, drunk on every scraped wrist or banged ankle earned by hopping brick fences. Ketamine eye, chest and brook howl as the devil's own in the lunar playground. The track Holmesians growl, scout, and I hum. The crocuses and the crozier reintegrated. This unfit shepherd. Get to know us, every one of us against the wall. Let them know you don't have to believe in what is true. We must cease our descent into zero-sum abstraction. My people, we fell from the hole in the sky, all family. There is no salvation, only the mountaintop, and there feel no elevation. Look out over it. Feel the absence of their God. Feel the blood sing in your calves in the presence of this landscape that holds you. Oh, progenitor, wove us, dear. Let us lay our nakedness upon you, upon your cool breastbone smoothed by the waters. This limbic rest among the furry live birth, among the milk-stung nipples, and blessed be all forms, mounted here on all fours. Feel no elevation, feel holy, feel your hunger, let yourself be horny, feel the deep call to re-enter the world with your own kind, through the snap-teeth sugary antler crash, and you a doorway, not unkind. Dive into this river of the body. If I am guilty, my good people, it is of this returning. If I am guilty, it is of loving you too much. Every donkey and unkind doorway I rode in on. It's true, I lost every fistfight with Jesus, but I swear it was all in self-defense. Coyote runs alongside your ride. Viva la white primer Impala. 64 dreams herself in tumbleweeds blow, or orange jumpsuit coffles shuffle. Juking in the streets of Festival, cockeyed, with our razor hair and the muzzle of our 38 snub-nosed revolver wave and puking. Tito Puente, Bill Bruford, Stuart Copeland, Keith motherfucking Moon, Danny Carey, and Neil Peart. I just made your life better. You should thank me later. You better bet he had old Saul cooking the books for him. Yes, of course I knew it was your sister when she and I broke into that vacant house to... Maybe if I could have landed just one punch on that smug bastard's face, maybe then he'd believe in me. And don't get me started about Brother Juan, the beloved badass motherfucker, drowning poor folks down in the Jordan for $2 a head. If we could all just shine like Billy Cobham, just look at that man go. Grandpa Cooper's pocket watch stopped. Our time elapsed captured, the leaves turning to face the sun. Coyote running on the high speed, the boom mic unable to follow the howl of her dripping tallow and firebird feathers. Our Damascus freeway, another unkind doorway. Gotta be the first taxman to steal their lunch money, all others leave hungry and empty-candid. Look out for that Matthew, yodeler of lies, with a bandiola of badass beatitudes. With Golgotha, some rubber skeleton dangling from our rearview mirror, we realize we've all just been shadowboxing this whole time. For you, my beloved, I will deep lily the Sermon on the Mount. Panopticon, our inverted cross, slake with blood and knock-kneed nailed, you drink us as we arrow into the prison's latrine. So open wide, Mithras, belch out some new fire, son, each morning somehow tighter. Every morning you wake up squeezing the guppy tighter. Choose the role of self-murder or the character assassin as you climb the walls, slither past the guards back into the unprison of work. His eyes bulge. It's hard to turn away from their hands. Shyness Orcus on the floor of the Senate, who have learned to take advantage of this characteristics of the great white shark and agriculture easy. Manta equal pay bill, and turn the ashtray on the ground, or your finger slips deep into the gill, slicing your tip pump red. Feel your own lungs failing. Work. The sex surrogate sweet opiate train us to tread water upside down. Defendant, us build memories of abuse in brothels, job, den, office, sofa, spirit of the dragon back to orgasm, which is calculated, the explosion in his eyes. each lateral line ablaze with the electrolytes of Jesus. Suspend us in the baptismal waters, these levitating gills. The shark relaxes, once upside down with the serotonin releases, eases into you like the throttling bass of organ music. Its eyes bulge, and it struggles to flip out of your hand. They let the equal pay bill die on the Senate floor again. Or look away if this is the way your sex feels, like half-raw, semi-gnawed chicken. His eyes explode. Accusations. I lay my inner attorney on his back, feel him flood with serotonin, hoping he trades disposable tea for some prayer beads. Every morning you wake up and squeeze tightly, you guppy return, when the release of serotonin is easier to love. So climb the wall, slide down past the guards to release the work shark, relaxed wrong one, throttling bass organ music to choose the role of character assassin and self-murder. The orca have learned to exploit this trait, farming manta rays and great white sharks as easily as flipping out ashtrays onto the ground. As far as how it feels, like half of the students, the lungs themselves, they step on opium water upside sweet sex surrogate. Sex, this is yours, slip deeper into the slice gills, peak pump his red fingers, see, and your training and work us. It's the chicken, feel nibbled, half failed. We lay back in the den of the dragon, the psych office couch, the brothel, trading memories of abuse for calculated orgasms. We flee from the smell of our own dead, a sympathy for sharks. Each horizontal line in flames and electrolytes. Jesus, break us in the baptism. He wants to buy and sell disposable tooth crowns for some. I'm one of them. Put a lawyer on the inside of his back on the water, doing floating gills, feel and flooding its serotonin. Look up. Look up! When is a field of crows. Father, half matador, half murder, half student who sips at the Id Cafe, resolving the world's problems with coffee-broad shoulders and his fistful of sticky notes. Hold, my children. Smell their hair for the first time. Always two people do the best they can. Mother, obstinate oracle of self-immolation, the curator, spaghetti western and Twilight Zone, the shepherd of lost sleep. Beautiful them when broken for us. Our alloy feathers, lunar-centric and flexed with mouths pressed to lipstick, peace soaked in the bedsheet scent of her tides. We cross the cornfield, startle at the deep crake gorge rise in the mobile of infinite space, infinite appetite in this milk-stung nursery. Oh, half-wit son of zero, ferryman of bloodless medical charts, jet fuel on the barges of the unburning, piss in the cistern of the broken workers. Oh, dismal being of unlidded eyes, bear you scalpel-flavored highlighter hands. Look up, my people, doing the best you can. Father, drawn like a moth to a donkey, this flower I was spat from, my black cat boomerang drags his crippled fat body with only his front paws, bends the cosmos ear, hindquarters covered in his spent soul. I, defecation, and the urinal spin, unwashed in your flood, my God, I will miss you when I am gone. Connor continues. Do not poke the abscesses, watch it smell and swell like a bellyfish flip swell fed on unfed. What would a poetics of hope look like, Bounce? Come rise, this poem of joy to verve, for you eat the homeless, willing to come back the red and green body, flowers in the night scope, jerks the earth that lays down to greet them, standing on one leg, the white crane preens its mane, the floodlights over the funk of Tin City, the concrete staked to sleep in money bags that went unused back in the day, because with them zipped up all the way, the sleeping soldier could not defend himself. All wrapped up like that, his back would crunch the unfrozen snow as the enemy's breath red plunges. The crick tags Kepler struck upon this equation for the precise gravity of your bayonet. Sunburnt fools, we occupy nowhere. But look, the skyline. Newsreel in the school's break room. They've lasted an average of 14 seconds before begging to be released. The Navy SEALs once used waterboarding in their counter-interrogation training, but they stopped because trainees could not survive it without breaking, which was bad for morale. Intervallic photographs are the only way to ensure that CSUSB's hallways remain graffiti-free. These two smiles in the Chestnut Tree Cafe. All the lambs are perforated. Leak. Breach into the breach, breath, a contrail, threshold of self, that point of maximal departure, wheels up, point of purchase, 0G sunset, swipe, cash out, cave painting, man stag, shepherd, depressed pickle, a weight lifted from the airframe, a small boy skipping stones in the cross. A small boy skipping stones in crosshairs. End run, hairs, in run, or exit browser. Thrust mantle, thrust searchlight, thrust radula, thrust fighter plane, meet Gott für Kaiser und Reich. Lines inspired by the Zeppelin chase and Howard Hughes' Hell's Angels, and observations in the Pacific octopus, an airman's hat falling, the salivary papilla drilling, snow bleed. Chromatophore dirigible, stretch, jettison. Ink people gas giant, construct escapes skyly, 8 limbs blink, thirst, cloud menace, halo bink, thirsts, swept minds wept. Oh Sarah, after grief comes cunning. Each drawer open accepts a hand, each door open accepts an eyelash, each house open accepts the dust from our skin, each body open accepts the limits, each surprised mind open visits the book drops shamelessly, accept our expired materials. The late bank notices don't notice our absence. We continue collecting piles of self in windows sills chilled, each self open except the wink. When everything unzippers, we find it was the inside out Ziploc baggie that breathes its orbit. Dust devil Keynes. Sarah's done it. She's done it. I will climb down into the tub with her, and hold her body over, and yield my body over and over and over again, until she wears my face and holds my face instead. Sarah's done it. I will climb down into the tub with her and hold her body over and over again until she wears my face instead. She's done it. I will climb down into the tub with her and yield my body over and over again until she holds my face in.